Let's dive into the discussions shaping the nation.
I myself am totally opposed to water charges. I was one of those people, I suppose, at that time that protested very strongly against the water charges. The problem we have is, and very little is recognised in here in relation to people that do pay for water. The agriculture, the farmers are paying for water. I myself paid for 3 connections. My son is paying for it now because he's running the farm. It's a huge burden to farmers, and they are having to show responsibility. That if there's leaks, they have to deal with the issue immediately. And this is where there could be a problem here that I could at least listen to the argument as how we're going to stop that. Because somebody in a housing estate, no disrespect to people there, could turn on the tap and walk away. Because there's no responsibility as such, and there has to be some bit of responsibility, or there could be a leak and they mightn't bother or might want to fix that leak. You also have to look at businesses out there. How many businesses out there are paying water charges? They're paying rates, they're paying every such thing. I think even recently there's a new charge being introduced if they have stools or chairs or tables outside the doors. If God, they weren't beat down enough. That's another rate that in the Cork County Council that's been hit to these business people too, on top of the VAT, on top of everything else. So some people out there are paying exorbitant amounts of money for water, and more aren't. But I personally think that in a situation where people are paying huge money with property tax and with all sorts of carbon tax and every kind of tax going, that's the very least we get in this country is water free. And I think that's an area that the government, I think, are wrong here to oppose this motion tonight. I think they need to take a long look back at the history of where the water charges went the previous time, and the disquiet and the huge disquiet amongst the ordinary citizens of this country. But the quality of the water too, Minister, has to come into play. I mean, it's the same. Ishkearn really is quite questionable, and we'll be talking again later on this week in relation to the wastewater treatment plant. But for now, it's water. Deputy Ken O'Flynn was in this house only about 2 weeks ago, and he held up a glass of water that's in his own constituency, the water there, and you wouldn't know, was it a glass of Coke or was it was certainly not a glass of clear water. It was scandalous to see the condition of the water there. So there is an awful lot of issues of no confidence in relation to the public out there and in relation to Ishkearn delivering. And if you expect that the public out there are still going to pay for water, and the service not at its best by no manner of means, I think you have another thing coming, and I would appreciate that you'd look at that. So basically, we need to look at repairing leaks. I see there in Bantry where there's continuous leaks, and as soon as one pops, it pops all over the town, and this is letting people in a very bad situation.
Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.